For me, some of the biggest lessons so far has been to not be afraid to ask the question. And I think for me at times there's this anxiety around asking the question. Or as I mentioned earlier, I don't ask the question because do I feel equipped or able to actually respond if I get the answer that I'm not wanting to hear, right? So, and also being willing to kind of push through the anxiety and the discomfort and just ask the question. And a part of that is realizing that the families of the survivors have experienced a trauma. And trauma really takes time to work through. And I think a part of working through the trauma is acknowledging that this has been traumatic. And a part of acknowledging that it's been traumatic will kind of help to start that healing process. And so those are some of the things that I've learned, is just simply being direct and clear and being willing to ask the question. And the more I get comfortable asking the question, the more I'm a part of the culture that starts to normalize the experience and helping people to understand that they're not alone. And I think a part of it is that there's this idea that we're alone, this idea that somehow I'm the only one struggling. And that's why it's important, I believe, to start this process, to start this journey within your own self of normalizing the experiences, the emotions, the things that you're having. And I think if you practice sharing with others how you're feeling, you also start to get the process of making things normalized, that this is just how it is.
The biggest thing I've learned is you don't have to do it alone. Once you recover and you're on the other side of it, you don't have to do it alone. The other part to that is that learning your safe place and your safe people. Sometimes once you have survived it and you're going through your recovery, however that looks, if it's counseling, if it's 12-step programs, I've done them all. And one of the biggest things was I also, while I did inventory within myself, I did inventory of the people around me. And everyone that's around me now knows what I've been through and support me through that. So the biggest thing, even when I sit at work and I have those patients that are there and they really are there and they open up, one thing I tell them is, you don't have to do it alone, but that also may mean changing some of your friends. And that is vital to walk through that, because you can't do it alone. You need that support system, and understanding how vitally important that is, especially when you're a survivor, but also recognizing that they're surviving it kind of like you. I didn't realize the impact that I had on like my mom and my sister until a couple of years ago. But it's not a journey you have to walk alone.